Hello, folks. This is your host, Tammy Turner, and you are now listening to the Tiara Talk Show. We bring you rare interviews with the makers of Disney magic. Whether they be singers, actors, Imagineers, animators, they've all made their mark on the Disney name. To find out more about the show and other episodes, head to our official website at www.thetiaratalkshow.com. Be sure to look below at the show notes in the Show More section for links to our Twitter and Facebook pages, including videos and websites mentioned in the following interview. Photos and audio clips that are featured in the show belong to their rightful owners and are used for educational purposes only. All guest opinions are theirs and theirs alone and do not represent the opinions of the Tiara Talk Show or the host. The Tiara Talk Show is not associated with the Disney Company. Thanks again for tuning in to this week's episode, and from all of us here at the Tiara Talk Show, have a hoop-de-doo day. I'm excited to welcome this week's Tiara Talk Show guests, authors Barbara Brauner and James Iver Mattson, to the show. Welcome, you two.
Hello.
Hi, Tammy.
How's it going on your end?
Really good. We just sent in our first draft of book 4 of the Oh My Godmother series, so we're pretty excited.
Yeah.
Ooh, this is exciting. So are there going to be 4 books in this series or 5?
4, as far as we know.
Oh.
Yes.
Ooh, okay. Well, let's cross our fingers it gets to 5.
Yes, exactly.
You're on the show to actually talk about your published Disney Hyperion book series, which is called Oh My Godmother, a.k.a. Oh My God, which has 2 books in its series at this moment that are released. The first being The Glitter Trap, that was released last year, and the follow-up, The Magic Mistake, which was also released in February 2014 of this year. Woohoo! But can you give our listeners a brief summary of the book series?
It's about a girl named Lacey Ungerwear, which is the worst name ever, who accidentally becomes a fairy godmother and has to fill in for another girl's fairy godmother and help out with her magical duties. We've had a really good time with it, and it's just been a very fun project.
And we always thought it would be more fun to be the fairy godmother anyway, because you get to be active and do stuff. And with Lacey, she messes up so much that we just find that funny.
Yeah.
But
you guys have collaborated before on writing several screenplays as well as some other projects. So what is the process like to write a book together? Do each of you get an assigned chapter or a specific character to write for?
a lot of teams do it that way. That's I think the most common way to write a book together. But because we started with screenplays, our process sort of got hammered out where we would sit together and Jim would type and I would talk and we would sort of hammer out every word together. And we do that with the books too. We're together, except for the editing, which we do by ourselves and then come back. We still discuss pretty much every word.
Yeah, Barbara comes over to my house 5 days a week, and we sit here by the computer and just, kind of hammer the stuff out.
And you guys, eat meals together, too, watch some TV, sometimes when you take a little break?
Barbara usually goes home for lunch, but we definitely watch cat videos on YouTube.
And if we're really trying to not work, we'll kind of say, oh, look, a movie's on. I'm sure that will be research for our next chapter.
Yeah, we'll go to the 3 o'clock matinee in Burbank. Don't tell our agent we said that.
I'll keep it a secret.
Okay.
What we use as a distraction is the cat. Usually we can spend many minutes with him doing weird things.
He's up on the table that we use as a work table. In fact, he's mad right now because we blocked him out of the office, so he wouldn't play with the iPad. He's a little bit in the story. That Lacey has a cat named Julius, who's an orange cat, and Fred is an orange cat. So he's
really?
Yeah. And in book 4, Julius talks. So that was for a couple of scenes. So that was really fun.
It was probably my favorite part of writing book 4. I just loved when Julius was talking.
Yeah. But my cat never talks.
At least as far as I know.
Yeah.
Maybe when I leave, he starts saying, get her out of here.
Yeah.
Now, I've read about your interesting inspiration story behind this book series, and I would love if you guys could tell the tale.
Sure. I was driving in my car and happened to look over, and there was a teenage girl next to me, and she was texting, and she really almost ran over this older woman who was in the crosswalk. And it just popped into my head the sort of basis of the story, which is, geez, what if that woman in the crosswalk was a fairy godmother and that teenage girl had to take over the job? So when I talked to Jim about it, he sort of liked that idea, and that we sort of ran with it from there.
Yeah. It was a really strong central idea that you could kind of see the shape of the book. That if an ordinary girl accidentally became a fairy godmother, that sounded like a lot of fun to us.
This is such a fun book series, and I really wouldn't be surprised if Disney picked it up to make it into a movie or even a Disney Channel series. But have you guys tried to submit the story as a movie idea to the Disney company? Because you've written movie screenplays before.
We have. I think our agent is submitting it right now. So you never.
We'll see what happens.
You never know.
Crossing my fingers for you guys.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We would love that. Well, thank you.
And a cameo by the authors, of course.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Tell your listeners that their dreams will come true for sure if they help make that happen. We've got connections.
Now, the next book in the Oh My God series will be titled The Spellbind, and it will hit bookstores this fall. And obviously, readers do not want to hear spoilers because they get very excited and, kind of upset if they do hear them. But could you give us a couple of hints about the upcoming adventures for Lacey and fairy godmother Katerina?
In book 2, there's a minor character named Martin Chambly, who is a very bright kid, and he plays the violin, and he's a Star Trek fan, and he's Lacey's main client in book 3. Martin kind of accidentally, because she I don't think
we
this...
shouldn't
okay.
We shouldn't tell too much.
Okay.
We actually did an event at a school where I was talking about one of the books, and a kid put his hands over his ears and said, don't tell me, I haven't gotten to that part yet.
Yeah.
So...
But it's safe to say that Martin Chambly is Lacey's new client.
Yes.
And it's fun because it's fun to do a boy for a main client.
And it's a very active book. A lot of big things happen, which is also very fun to write.
Yeah.
Who is your favorite character to write for?
Well, Katerina is always a lot of fun.
Yeah. I think Katerina is so fun because she's so bad-tempered and... she's almost a little bit Donald Duck, where she has no sense, she has no internal censor. She just she says what she thinks, and one of the kids at an event said, "Why is she always so mean?"
Yes.
And we said, well, she is kind of mean, but she means well. Underneath, she's probably a nice person.
And I was thinking, she's like me in the morning, so I don't think she's that mean.
Yeah.
I kind of get the Tina Fey picturesque when I think about her character.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I think even when you look at the little pictures of her on the cover of the book, you can kind of see Tina Fey. So, Tina Fey, please!
And Lacey is very fun to write for, too. We both basically like Lacey. Lacey is kind of the kid we would like to be friends with. And she's very bright and kind of funny, and I like her.
Yeah, absolutely.
What would be your favorite part about having fairy godmother powers, and what would be your least favorite part about it?
There was an interesting thing online where adults actually were sort of asked about fairy godmothers, women, and they all wanted the fairy godmother to do their housework, pretty much across the board. That's what they wanted. We want housework help.
Yeah, and that would be awfully nice, but I wouldn't want that to be my only thing.
No.
That... I think probably giving me a trip to Disneyland would be
That would be very cool. And it would be a little hard to be on call for so long because you have to to get the assignment done, and you have the stress of it. I think would be it would be a hard job. So
that would be the worst part of it.
That would be the worst part. I think the best part for me, being girly girl, is that I want to do the dresses. That would be fun.
Yes. Oh, the designing of dresses. That would be so much fun.
Absolutely.
What we like about Lacey's spells is they're a little bit literal-minded, where she'll say something that she thinks is foolproof, and it goes completely wrong, and every word is true.
Yes.
So it'd be a fun game if you put in the words for the spell and you see it takes the words literally and
how it goes wrong.
Yeah. And now we're on to our Fab 3 questions. I usually ask these questions to all of my guests. They're fun Disney questions. So we'll start off with the Donald one. So as a child, what Disney film would you like to watch over and over and over again? For me, I think it was Mary Poppins, which I saw as a young kid, and I remember just loving it so much. I went with my whole family, and one of my favorite memories as a child is my brother was only about 5, and he laughed hysterically at the movie and he made it through the animated scene, and then he fell asleep, and then he slept through the rest of the movie. But I stayed awake and just loved it.
And I loved Cinderella, although, most kids cry at Bambi. At Cinderella, when she's locked in the tower and the mice are bringing the key, I was so sure that there was just no way they could get past the cat. I was sure. And I'm weeping, and my mom is saying, I think the mice are going to get the job done. No, they're not. It's impossible. Lucifer's going to eat them. But I did watch it over and over.
Okay, so our goofy question. So what Disney character do you think would be your best friend if you met them in person?
Now let's think about that one. Oh, definitely Belle from Beauty and the Beast. I just was so struck by Belle, how smart she was and how much she read. And yes, I absolutely want to be best friends with Belle.
That would be good. And I think Ursula would be fun to have go out and have drinks with in the evening. You'd have to be very careful, but she would probably be very funny.
And our Mickey question. So if I asked you to name any Disney song at this moment, what immediately comes to mind?
Well, that does immediately come to mind.
Feed the Birds from Mary Poppins, which I think I read was Disney. I believe it was Disney's favorite song from the movie.
And for some reason, we were talking about something, and the Hi Ho song from Snow White has been playing in a loop in my head for about the last 2 months. That I'm driving along going, hi ho, hi ho. It's off to work I go. It's very odd.
You never told me that.
And it was something we were discussing for the book, I think. Yeah. It just got caught in my head. Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming on the show. Listeners, you can always follow James on Twitter at Iver Mattson, which is JIVERMATTSON. And you can follow Barbara at BARBARAUNER. That's a mouthful. And you can also like their Facebook fan page too. And be sure to keep an eye out for their next book of the Oh My Godmother series this fall, which is titled The Spellbind. I'm so excited to read it, and I really hope it becomes a movie or TV series.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Tammy.
Zalakadula, Zalakazim, let the dream now begin.